There was a moment when the most dominant athlete in America played two professional sports at the same time, and he was elite in both. He wasn't even born Bo. His name was Vincent Edward Jackson. As a kid in Alabama, he was so wild and physical that people started calling him Wild Boar, and that eventually got shortened to Bo. And somehow the nickname just fit, you know? I'm Kate. I break down the greatest sports stories. Tell me what I got right or fansplain me in the comments. In high school, Bo Jackson won state titles in the decathlon twice and dominated so much that he reportedly sat out of the final event because he had already secured the win. As a senior, he won state championships in the 100 meters, 200 meters, 400 meter hurdles, high jump, and long jump. He wasn't just good at one thing, he was good at everything. And it probably felt unfair to everyone around him. Bo wasn't just a high school phenomenon, he proved it in college as well. At Auburn, he became one of the most dominant running backs in the entire country. In 1985, he rushed for over 1,700 yards and won the Heisman Trophy. You know, he was not hype, he was the real deal. That made him the #1 overall pick in the 1986 NFL Draft. But here is where things get very interesting. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers drafted him first overall. Before the draft, the Buccaneers flew Bo to meet the team owner. The problem was the trip was not properly cleared with the NCAA. That visit cost him his final season of college baseball eligibility at Auburn. Bo believed Tampa either knew the rules or just did not care. So he made a decision that almost nobody would make, and he refused to sign. He walked away from being the #1 overall pick in the NFL draft. Bo felt burned, whether or not it was intentional or not, so he refused to sign with Tampa. The Buccaneers held his NFL rights for that season. But if a drafted player doesn't sign, he can re-enter the draft the following year, and that is exactly what Bo did. So in 1987, the Los Angeles Raiders took him in the 7th round, not the first. Why the 7th round? Well, because teams assumed that he wouldn't actually play football. He had already started his MLB career with the Kansas City Royals in 1986. Most NFL front offices didn't want to waste a high pick on someone who might choose baseball full-time. But Raiders owner Al Davis believed that Bo could do both. He structured his contract so Bo could finish the MLB season before joining the Raiders. So instead of being the #1 overall pick tied to one franchise, he became something way more rare, a two-sport professional star playing in the NFL and MLB at the same time. With the Kansas City Royals, Bo hit 32 home runs in 1989 and made the MLB All-Star team. That same year, he was the MVP of the All-Star game after leading off with a towering home run. September 1990, he hit home runs in 4 straight at-bats, tying a major league record. Meanwhile, in the NFL, playing for the Los Angeles Raiders, he averaged 5.4 yards per carry for his career. In 1987, on Monday Night Football, Brian Bosworth had guaranteed he'd shut Bo Jackson down. Bo responded by running 91 yards past him on national television and then trucking him at the goal line later in the game. He kept running straight into the tunnel because he did not want to slow down. The announcer famously yelled, "There goes Bo!" It was the longest run in Raiders history. In 1990, he rushed for 221 yards in a single game against Seattle on Monday Night Football. Again, let's pause here for some perspective. Bo is still the only athlete in history to be named an All-Star in MLB and a Pro Bowler in the NFL. And then Nike turned him into a slogan, Bo knows. Bo knows baseball. Bo knows football. Bo knows everything. And for a few seasons, that held very true. He was 6'1", 230 pounds, ran a 4.12 40-yard dash, and had a cannon arm in right field, hit baseballs like they owed him money. He wasn't just good at two sports, he was truly built differently. But in January 1991, during an NFL playoff game against the Bengals, Bo was tackled awkwardly near the sideline, and it didn't actually even look catastrophic at first. Unfortunately, though, it was. He suffered a hip injury that led to avascular necrosis, which is a loss of blood flow to the bone. His hip deteriorated. He needed a replacement. His football career ended immediately. Oof. After hip replacement surgery, he promised his mother that he'd hit a home run when he returned to baseball. So then, tragically, she passed away before she could see it happen. In his first at-bat back in 1993, he hit one out of the park. He tried to return to baseball and even hit 16 home runs for the White Sox in 1993. Despite being voted the 1993 American League Comeback Player of the Year, the explosiveness, the myth, the two-sport dominance was unfortunately gone. And that's why this story, I don't know, I think it hits different. And it's not because he failed. He certainly did not fail. But because we never got to really see the ceiling. What if Bo had stayed healthy? I mean, what if he had chosen just one sport? These are things we will never know. Bo could outrun linebackers. He could outrun outfielders. But unfortunately, because we are all human, he could not outrun health and time. And I think it's one of the greatest what-if stories in sports history. I mean, truly, like, what if Bo stayed healthy and played for much longer? It's wild. I mean, certainly one of the greatest of all time. What do you think? Fansplain me in the comments.